YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to another video on the channel. This one's gonna be a little bit different than your usual Miro board video, me, explaining some sort of sauce. In this video, I wanted to answer some questions, right? Some of the biggest organic dropshipping questions that you guys wanted to know. I mainly wanted to do this video because I've been receiving a lot of different comments regarding organic dropshipping, even e-com mindset, stuff like that. And in this video, I wanted to take the time to just sit down, super raw video, and answer absolutely every question that you guys asked me, right? Because 2 days ago, I posted a story, telling you guys, hey, ask me the biggest questions when it comes to organic dropshipping, anything, and I'll answer it in this video. So I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. It's probably gonna be pretty lengthy because there's a lot of questions in here, and yeah, we're gonna get straight to it. But before I do, some credibility. My name is Kevin Martins. I've done over $500,000 with organic dropshipping in a year and a half, and this is where I live. This isn't fucking CGI. It's a pretty cool crib. Live here in Miami. I'm 23 years old, and I think I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to organic dropshipping specific, right? So let's deep dive into it. Let's get the phone. We're gonna answer some of the YouTube ones first because they actually have to do a lot with the business model. And so yeah, so we have lots of comments here on the YouTube, but we also have a good amount on the Instagram as well. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so the first one I am going to answer is, what are some key benefactors to scaling a product properly and effectively? So if we're talking scaling, you would ideally want to scale a product that has made you money, right? And I'm not talking your first 1K, your first 10K. I'm talking, this product has made you anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 in the last 6 to 8 months, right? That would be an appropriate time for you to scale as an organic dropshipper. Considering the fact that we're running at 50 to 70% margins, it would be a good idea. And by scaling, I mean, well, are we getting creators? Are we looking into affiliate marketing to, kind of like remove the load off of us and, really delegate that process to somebody else so we can actually work on the business rather than in it, right? If you guys don't know, organic dropshipping is very lengthy in terms of like the amount of time you have to dedicate to making the videos. It's pretty slave work, right, in the beginning. But eventually, once you want to start scaling, you have to start thinking a little bit smarter. And that doesn't mean, let the foot off the gas and start slacking. You actually don't want to do that, because I feel like a lot of people tend to think that, oh, I have to work smarter rather than harder. No, you can do both, right? So to answer the question, you want to get onto some creators, even affiliate marketing if you wanted to maybe get on TikTok Shop, right, to get that process done. And by affiliate marketing, it could be influencers, A-list influencers, B-list influencers, and even C-list, right? C-list would be like 10K followers, B-list would be like 50K, A-list, you're talking Kim Kardashian, where it would probably cost you a pretty penny to get a video from her, right? Also too, teams. How can you actually create a team for you to work on the back end stuff that isn't gonna be a very high ROI for you, right? What I mean by this is customer support, right? That's something that takes a lot of time, especially when you're answering a lot of emails. And me personally, I delegate that process to my guy, Hashan. Shout out Hashan if you're watching this. I pay the guy $10 a day, right? And he's a great guy, he speaks English. He actually has a team under him as well, and they take care of my emails, right? So I don't have to be there 3 hours a day having to waste time on that, right? Because again, we need to focus on pushing the needle forward rather than, answering to, where the fuck is my order, right? Another thing too you could do is a product research VA, right? That's what I like to do as well, because I don't really have time to be scrolling on my burner a lot. So if you wanted to scale, right, with maybe another product, you could definitely delegate that process to somebody else, even like an email marketing team to help you really make a lot more money with all the sessions that are coming into your store. So yeah, these are just different aspects that you could use to scale, right? You could scale like horizontally, you could scale vertically, right? Horizontal scaling for me would be like hopping on different products and maybe running 3 to 4 products that are all consistently making money. But if you want to scale vertically, right, you would be focusing on your main winner and trying to really optimize it as much as possible, right? So yeah, that's going to be that question right there. Pretty saucy right there. So next one, Juan Gonzalez asked, what is your personal product criteria? So if you were to ask me this question when I first started, it would have been totally different, because when I first started, I was really just trying to make money, and I was really just getting my foot in the door. So what I mean by that, I was running a lot of pump and dump products that would make me money like 1 week and then completely dump the next. But I was still like finding a lot of these, and I was able to kind of build some pretty decent capital. But now that I'm a lot higher in, I guess, the e-com organic dropshipper level, right? By no means am I saying I'm a master at this, but I would say that I'm picking products that are going to be high leverage, right? And by high leverage is that I'm getting more for what I'm putting in. So for me, at this point, I'm not running, I don't know, for example, any Lego products, right? Because with Lego products, you have to build them, you have to film for them, you have to, it's a lot of work, right? I know people that have ran Lego products that would take, 2, maybe 3 hours to film for, like one video. And to me, at that rate, it's very low leverage. Even if that product is converting at like 3 to 5K per mil, at my level, I much rather pick maybe, I don't know, 2 other products on that maybe take me only 30 minutes to film for, that only convert at like 2K per mil, right? Because I don't have all the time in the world here. I have multiple businesses going on. And so I'm really trying to find products that are going to be high leverage, right? And usually these products aren't easy to find, right? It's going to take some time and effort to find them, right? Because if they were available everywhere, then everyone would be printing. And me personally, I like to look on AliExpress and really just find a product that A, is high leverage, right? Where again, I'm not having to build, I'm not having to do crazy shit. Really, I just want to focus on filming for the product. Ideally, it falls under a very passionate niche, so I can already have a target niche to target. And you also want to make sure that that product fits that market, right? Or niche, whatever. That's what you would call product market fit, right? Because let's say your product doesn't fit the market, then it's not going to convert. So for example, let's say you were trying to, I don't even know, target little peep fans, right? Let's just put that out in the air. Your best bet is to find a product under that niche that target demographic would actually buy. So that's why you've been seeing a lot of people run blankets. We've seen like plushies, stuff like that, because the ideal emo girl is into those type of stuff, right? And so that would be a perfect product market fit, right? But let's say you were trying to sell like a little peep fire extinguisher, right? That shit does not even fit the fucking market, right? So you gotta make sure that the product fits the market, it's under a very passionate niche, but it's also high leverage to where it doesn't take too much time, too much effort for the video creation process. Because again, you're asking this question and I'm answering it in my level. If you're talking like beginner, sure bro, you can run a couple pump and dumps where you're running 3-4 products at a time that are maybe making you 2 to 5K each, and then you're kind of chilling. But now, like once you start getting more advanced, you're looking into these things and it's really important. Okay, I'm gonna try and fly through these because this video might be 2 hours long. All right, how do you handle chargebacks and disputes? So it's gonna really come down to emails, right? Being able to communicate with the customer that, hey, we are so sorry about your order being late. We are currently expecting, we're currently going through unexpected demand. We didn't expect to go so viral. Really just try and explain the actual situation without sugarcoating or lying, right? Just be real with them. You want to make sure that you're really tapping in with the customer so you don't get fucking chargebacks, because if you get chargebacks, you're going to have to literally form a case in which why you weren't able to deliver in time, and most of the time you're going to lose. PayPal, Shopify, they're always going to side with the customer, so it's important that you think ahead so this doesn't happen to you. But me personally, how do I actually handle them myself? I have my team do it for me. I have my guy, Hashan, shout out again. He's pretty fucking good at handling chargebacks. He's actually won a lot of cases for me, but like I said, most of the time I do lose them because we're dropshipping guys, right? And we really can't control the shipping times, especially when suppliers are super busy. And unfortunately, sometimes our products, get lost, right? And you're gonna either have to talk to the customer, tell them, hey, we can resend you a new product, or we can go ahead and give you a full refund, but please don't dispute, please don't charge back, because then they're gonna charge us that like hefty fee from the bank, and you're sometimes having to pay double, which is so ass. So yeah, to handle it, make sure you come up with a good case, delegate that process to your customer support team. But most importantly, just don't get to that point where you're getting chargebacks, right? So talk to your suppliers about shipping times, quality, and most importantly, right, when you're getting orders and it says, that the location might be wrong, actually email the customer and confirm. I'm telling you, this has stayed my ass so many times. Just confirm with them, bro. Like, it's not hard. Reach out to them or just delegate that to your team, right? Now, let's jump into this one. When starting to test a product, should you directly start with a private supplier or start with an example, AutoDS or ZenDrop, right? So if we're talking about fulfillment, your best bet is always going to be a private supplier. When it comes to AutoDS, ZenDrop, all these other companies, they're making money off you, and most of the time they aren't as inexpensive as finding a private supplier. So me personally, if I'm testing a product, I start getting demand, I get 10 to 20 sales my first week, and then I'm scaling. Definitely worthwhile to find a private supplier, build a good relationship with him or her, and try and get the cheapest price, but also the best quality product that you can, right? But with ZenDrop and AutoDS, usually like they're charging like hidden fees, and they're literally making money off of you because most likely you heard that AutoDS or ZenDrop name from like another influencer on the space, and it's literally just like a massive pyramid scheme where everyone's just making commission off themselves. So your best bet is to find a private supplier and go to the source directly. Don't try and get that delegated by some software on the internet, right? Another question is, can you scale a pump and dump product? Is it possible? 100%. Like I said, you can 100% horizontally scale a pump and dump. So let's say you're running blankets, for example, little definition of a pump and dump. You could be running blankets in the US market. You could be running blankets, the same blanket in the Italian market, in the UK market, German market, etc. Right? That's how you would actually horizontally scale a pump and dump. Just literally throw it into another market, or try to maybe find different marketing angles, right? So you guys have been seeing that heated robe literally all over your burner, right? The first guy introduced it with like Coldaholics, then somebody tied in period cramps, and then book girlies, and then I've even seen like stay-at-home moms, right? So like that's how you kind of scale a pump and dump. Just try and target more niches and different angles, and also bring that product to a different market. Sorry about that shit. My fucking coffee maker just turns on randomly, bro. So yeah, that's how you can actually scale a pump and dump. All right, so let's get into the other question right here. Shout out Mr. Cam Unlock. He says, do posting times exist? Current winning concepts, deep dive on Facebook. Holy cow, what are skills of organic? What makes good upsells? All right, let's try and dissect this long question. So do posting times exist? No, but if you're superstitious, post a video at 1 p.m., then post another video at 8 p.m. if you post twice a day. If you're posting 3 times a day, post a video in the morning, evening, and then at night, okay? If you have a superstitious mind like I do, right? But I promise you that shit does not matter. Current winning concepts. Currently at the moment, winning, if we're talking going viral, cooking concept, that shit literally works for any product in the space. A lot of these AI videos are going absolutely crazy. So you're essentially using either an AI stitch, or you're creating the AI yourself to portray yourself as like a single business owner, where you're trying to like handcraft your products, etc. Right? That's something that's converting insane at the moment. Obviously, don't say that you're like you have a failing business, or you're trying to support a foundation. Don't do that. That's fucked up. I'm just saying you could portray yourself as a female owning a small business and handcrafting your item, right? I don't see anything wrong with that. Another concept that has been doing pretty good is just very niche concepts, right? So you could essentially do like a POV concept with like a text hook, and just really niche that text hook to your niche. So for example, instead of saying "do not get this for your girlfriend," niche down to the niche that you're targeting, right? So let's say you're targeting Hello Kitty, you could say POV, you got this for your Hello Kitty girlfriend for Valentine's Day, right? That's how you would actually niche down like a POV concept or what, right? But those are just some top of mind concepts that are doing pretty good at the moment. Also just like normal stitch in general, where you're finding a clip from another person on TikTok and you're using that clip to reel the viewer in. So ideally you want to add it into your initial video hook, and it could be a very controversial clip. It could be, again, a clip of your target avatar. Again, there's many ways of doing Stitch. I'm not going to explain it. It's going to be a 90 million hour video. Also, deep dive on Facebook. Facebook is literally insane at the moment. I have so many students inside the inner circle just printing. It's so high leverage, right? You're getting so much more for what you're putting in, because you got to think, like, what is the ideal customer that we all want as an organic dropshipper? It's somebody that actually has money and is over the age of 18, right? So Facebook is exactly that. People that use Facebook Reels are anywhere from 25 to 65, right? Even more. And these are all people that have money. And right now, there's a big boom when it comes to Facebook organic, because you're able to literally split test videos, repost videos, steal clips, everything, and go insanely viral if you have a primed Facebook account. So if you guys haven't got on this, get on it, right? I was having dinner with Manny. Shout out Manny if you're watching this. I was here in Brickell. Well, I live in Miami. They were visiting me. We had dinner with Manny, his boy Yezo, and my top student Mark. Shout out Mark Sanders. Bro, we had a 2-hour conversation on just Facebook at the moment. And it's crazy because a lot of people are making so much money without even having to record a singular fucking video. And so really, you should be leveraging that platform to make you money, especially if you don't have a lot of resources, aka money, to test products. You can literally rip to test. If you find a validation, right, or proof of concept demand, order the fucking sample and then start testing, right? So now we're actually able to test products without really risking much. And again, Manny was telling me about some guy last year. He made 700K revenue by just stealing clips and reposting on Facebook, because last year a lot of people weren't posting on Facebook. Right now, everyone posts on Facebook because we know the method. And simply by just finding accounts that never posted on Facebook, or old Q4 products, or old 2023 products, bro, if you find those products, right, and you find those really viral videos, bro, just toss them onto Facebook, because more than likely that person never posted on Facebook Reels. Because back in the day, nobody really knew the method. Nobody really knew about Facebook Reels. Even myself, I would never post on Facebook Reels. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that, oh, I've been posting on Facebook Reels this whole time. No, I haven't. And that's just the name of the game. So now, taking advantage of the opportunity, don't be so ignorant, and start testing your ass off on Facebook. Ideally, prime up an account, right? So you want to find an aged account. I personally use my old account, like my own account that I had since like middle school. I leech off that personal account to make pages, because you can make like 4 to 5 different pages per account, and then start running different products on those pages. Once you have a primed page, then you can start doubling down, ordering the product, making the videos yourself with the winning concepts, scaling that bitch up until you want to add another product. You can run multiple products under a page, ideally under the same niche, but if there aren't even related, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Manny was telling me he's running like 3 to 4 products under one insanely primed Facebook that have nothing to do with each other, and he still prints, right? So yeah, that's all I'm saying on Facebook. There's a lot more, but again, I'd be here forever. What are the skills of organic? What makes good upsells? Skills of organic, I mean, obviously it's like being able to target a specific niche while, you know, making product videos yourself and posting on, you know, TikTok platforms or just short form platforms in general. That's the skill of organic, is being able to do the marketing yourself, go viral with that marketing, but obviously be able to target a certain niche, right? And know what it takes to be able to do that, what concepts, what wordages, what audios, etc. Like, these are all different attributes and skills that are going to directly correlate to the amount of money you're going to be making with the business model. So think of it as like a system. Think of it as an engine. These are all different pieces of the engine that are necessary for the car to move. Because if you're really good at content but you suck at product selection, you're fried. If you're really good at product selection but you suck at content and concepts, you're fried, right? So all these different things compound to you being really good at organic, which is ultimately the skills that you build, right? And what makes good upsells? Again, being able to cross-sell certain items, giving the customer a legitimate deal, right? Don't just do 20% off, 10% off. Like, guys, that's what everyone is fucking doing. And again, you want to be original, but also you want to actually offer a real offer. Everyone's doing 25% off or even like 50% off with that strike-through price. Like, we know you're not actually offering shit. So actually make a tasty offer. Me personally, what I like to do is buy one, get one free, right? But you know, you want to find a product that you're actually able to do that. Obviously, I built really good connections with my private suppliers to be able to offer that. But by far, that's been the best offer that I've been able to do with my personal brand, is that buy one, get one free. And bro, it fucking rips, right? And if you want to offer a third choice, you can do buy two, get one free with a free gift, right? So also add free stuff into the bundles, right? Free keychains, free stickers, right? Stuff that isn't going to cost you much, but to the customer is going to be like, holy shit, I'm getting so much value from this purchase, right? And you know, there's just so much. If you want, just watch my AOV maxing video on the YouTube. I deep dive into everything, and yeah, bro. So that's gonna be it for the YouTube ones that I wanted to answer. Again, you guys get the gist here. Somebody said, could you share about VPN targeting you kind of stuff, please? So when it comes to VPNs, you want to use Surfshark, dedicated IP. Ideally, get a new phone for posting to the US market. So if you live in Czech Republic, buy a new phone to target US. You won't have an issue in the long run, right? And like I said, yes, you will need a VPN on the other phone or simply a US SIM card, which you can buy on Amazon, right? Also, he asked, how do we handle many social media accounts and can we film with that phone? Yes, you can film with that phone 100%. Ideally, you want to be using the iPhone to film, guys. Please don't film on a Droid. It looks terrible and everyone and their mothers notices when you're using a Droid because for some reason, like the aspect ratio is fucked and the quality just comes out shit. So if you want to buy an iPhone for cheap, make sure to get at least like the iPhone 13 and anything above that, right? You should be good. Because once you start crossing like iPhone 11, iPhone X, the quality definitely takes a dump, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it on answering that massive question. I'm loving these questions, guys. Really, really good. So now let's hop onto the Instagram questions. All right, so we got a whole bunch of IG questions right here, and let's take a look. So first one is from Jay, man. Shout out Jay, bro. Shout out Jay. How to make a Facebook account, and is there a current way? Just in a bit of detail, please. Okay, so how do you actually make a Facebook account? It's pretty simple. Like I said before, you are leeching off a personal Facebook, an aged Facebook account that's been around for at least 6 months. If you don't have one, ask your sister, ask your mom, ask your uncle, your auntie, your grandma. I'm sure you'll be able to find one, right? If you don't have the luxury of that, then it's fine. Just create an account, right? Once you create that account, you want to make a page dedicated to your product. Like I said, you can make over 3 different pages per account, right? Per personal account. Once you make that page, you want to switch into a business account, right? To actually get access to that professional dashboard, to actually see analytics, be able to block certain countries like India, right? If you're having issues with Indians, right? No, like, I'm not trying to hate on the Indians that watch my videos, but you guys just do not convert. And if you want to block them, make a professional account under your page and just remove them from the fucking equation, right? And you're able to do this for not only India, but any account, or not any account, but any market that you don't want to target, right? But the only way you do that is by actually creating a page. So like I said, make a page per product that you're trying to run. And ideally you want to prime that bitch up to where you're getting anywhere from 30 to 60,000 views per video, right? That would be very, very, very primed Facebook account. But how do you know your Facebook account is even primed in the first place? If you're posting like 10 to 20 videos and you're getting 0 views, you're cooked, move on to the next page, right? If you're getting anywhere from 500 to 1,000 views, you should be good. Just keep on thugging it out. It took me literally over 30 videos until I actually primed my Facebook account, which now gets like 800,000 views per video, right? But it fucking sucks. You have to thug it out, and sometimes you just have to be patient, right? But that's kind of like how you know if you're cooked or not, right? And yeah, bro, that's literally how you create it. Again, if you have an IG connected to it, make sure you actually enable cross-posting, right, to save some time, but never, ever recommend to Facebook. So if you are on Instagram right now and you're getting a shit ton of views with no engagement, it's most likely because you're recommending to Facebook, right? So turn that shit off, go into settings, right? Search up cross-posting and turn that bitch on so you start getting more engagement, right? So your video actually gets shown on Facebook and people can actually comment, like, and get your fucking product, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how I do it, bro. There's really no magic. I feel like a lot of people are just blabbing to blab on YouTube and they just have no idea what they're talking about. But just don't overcomplicate it and be patient. Somebody asked, how long do we think organic dropshipping in general will last? I think it's gonna last forever, bro. Like, organic marketing is something that a lot of businesses are doing, especially that are, you know, B2B, B2C, right? B2B I mean like business to business type of companies like software are doing a lot of organic marketing, even business to consumer, right? Obviously. And it's something that is amazing because you're able to actually make very organic content and sell shit, right, with it, right? And it doesn't look salesy, it doesn't look something like super professional and stuff like that. And it's a great way to actually make a lot more profit when it comes to the products that you're running, especially when you're low on capital and you don't have resources to scale with meta ads and stuff like that. Bro, organic is such a fucking glitch because you're able to essentially create the videos yourself, go viral, learn all the skills that are necessary to get to that point, and start making money right away, right? And achieve that 50 to 70% profit margin range. And for any company, right, no matter if you're doing organic dropshipping, normal dropshipping, fucking brick and mortar businesses, right? If you're able to profit more from the marketing that you're making, that's a fucking glitch, bro. And so I don't think organic marketing is going anywhere. You're seeing huge brands like Nike doing it, and it works, right? So I don't think it's going anywhere, bro. Another question is a high ticket product, $300 or a low ticket, $100 or less? What is better to sell? What do you recommend? Ideally, you want to be selling products under $100. I'll be completely honest because we rely on kind of like hype marketing where we're going super viral. Most people are just like scrolling on their phone all day. They come across our video and it's very emotional, right? It's very emotional driven to go ahead and buy our product off a random fucking website. And when they see that $300 price tag and above, your brain starts to activate a little bit and you most likely are going to back out of that purchase. Rather that product be less than $100, you know, let's say you're pricing it at $50, you know, you're not gonna really think too much of it, right? Especially for your typical average American making a stable income, $50 isn't gonna make or break anything, but anything above 300 is, right? And again, we rely on that explosive marketing and very emotional type of marketing, but the moment you're pricing shit over 300, like I said, your brain activates and most of the time it doesn't convert, right? I've tried running really high ticket products for like $500. That shit does not convert, bro. You know, so yeah, definitely try to keep it low ticket. Even though $50 is not low ticket. Low ticket would be like $10. Another question is making an account with a universal name a good idea or should it be related to your product? I want to make it universal just because even if you want to go into like the whole branding side of things, it's best to kind of keep it very neutral. If you wanted to maybe get on new variations, target different niches, that's what I personally like to do rather than like you making an account called like, I don't know, football bracelets, right? Like shit like that, right? A, it doesn't seem professional. You want to make it more branded, but also you're literally constraining yourself to only that niche. And let's say you're running a football product, right? American football for bracelets, and you wanted to branch out to like, I don't know, soccer, hockey, baseball. You're kind of fucking yourself with that name. So again, I would just make it plural and just super general, bro. Like just a general last name. So then if you wanted to go into branding, you could. How do I target specific countries instead of India, right? Like I said, we have a big Indian epidemic here. And it's usually gonna be a product problem, but also a sound issue as well. Certain sounds like funk, for example, tend to attract so many Indians for some reason that I do not use any funk sounds. So if you're using any funk audios, try and stay away from that. Also, certain products tend to attract a foreign audience. So going back to soccer, soccer is played all around the world, right? And really, it's not played too much here in the US. So you gotta think, 90% of people that are into soccer are foreign, right? And so you're going to naturally attract more foreign audiences. So that's why it's important to pick products that, again, would fit the market, right? Product market fit is super crucial to this because, again, we're trying to pick products that are going viral in the US market and that your typical US citizen would relate to, right? And soccer is simply not really it at the moment. That's what I'm saying. If you want to run like a sports product, focus on NFL, focus on MLB. These are sports that are only played in these countries, and you won't have an issue with that, right? So sometimes it's a product issue, but most of the time, right, it's an audio issue, even certain concepts, even certain niches too, bro. Like for example, Stranger Things, bro. I ran multiple Stranger Things products, but that shit prints views, but it does not convert because Stranger Things for some reason is, well, not for some reason, like it's totally valid, like it's such a good show, but so many people in the world watch that shit, and it was for some reason attracting a very foreign audience, which would get me views, but it wouldn't convert. So again, just focus on niches, focus on products that are popular in the US, okay? But also stop using funk sounds. And if you wanna know if your sound is cooked, go on TikTok, search up the sound that you're trying to use or think about using for your video and see how many videos, right, under that sound on TikTok. Because you can press like the sound button and check like all the people that are using it. First of all, make sure that the people who are using it aren't foreign. You're not seeing any foreign languages and foreign words. If you are, you're cooked most likely. So you want to make sure that you're seeing Americans, but also you want to make sure that a lot of the people that are commenting on those videos are also American as well. So if you're seeing a lot of Arabic, German, stuff like that, stay away from it. So again, just to re-say that one more time, literally go on TikTok, search up the sound that you're trying to use or have been using, look at all the videos that are being made with that sound. If you're seeing a lot of foreign people, foreign languages, stay away from it, right? But if you're seeing Americans, American comments, everything, you're good to go most of the time. Next question is by Raul. Another one, do you make dropshipping with stock or without? Without, right? The whole basis behind dropshipping, right, is the fulfillment method. We don't need to have stock ourselves, so that's why we dropship, right? To be able to supply the customer without even having to touch the product, right? That's the whole basis. We don't need capital for stock or anything. So really, it's a matter of finding the product that we want to sell. We find a private supplier to then ship that product out to the customer, and then all we do is collect the cash. We collect the profits, and yeah, there's no fucking inventory. Most of you guys ask me all the time, like, yo, why are you storing inventory? It's for my TikTok shop, right? So for TikTok shop, you need to be able to deliver in 2 to 3 business days. So I have a warehouse across the street that I go ahead and, you know, put all my stock in to personally ship out the product myself. And yeah, that's why I do that, right? But again, I do a hybrid store where I'm drop shipping, but also sending out product myself for like that TikTok shop that I have, right? So yeah, that's pretty much drop shipping. That's why it's beautiful, bro. We don't have to invest any money into stock. We're able to just run up products, have our private suppliers fulfill it for us, and just collect the profits, right? So that's the whole basis behind drop shipping, guys. It's like literally the fulfillment method, right? It's still e-commerce. It's still like, you know, business. It's just that we fulfill a lot differently because we don't have stock, right? So yeah. Another one is advice on going consistently viral and split testing. So to be able to go consistently viral, you have to make good content, right? But also have the right product to be able to go viral with. But most importantly, bro, you have to be scrolling every single day and just be on top of shit, bro. Be on top of trends, whether it's like organic dropshipping trends or just normal trends within, you know, just the universe. You want to make sure you're on top of shit because it's a lot of information, right? And really what we have is, as humans at the end of the day, is like our knowledge, right? You can strip me from all the money today and tomorrow, plot me in the middle of fucking Africa, but I'll still be able to print with organic because I have all this knowledge. But how did I obtain that knowledge? Through information, right? And I was able to obtain that information through scrolling on my burner, right? Studying concepts, studying other YouTubers that were in the space, investing in mentoring, investing in a whole bunch of different communities and stuff to be on top of the game, right? Because at the end of the day, if you can't go viral, it's most likely because A, your content is shit, but also you probably just don't know better, right? You don't know what to do, and you don't know what you don't know, right? So again, if you're equipped with the right knowledge, the right skill sets, you're gonna be able to go viral a lot more frequently than you think, right? And that, like I said, if you're able to go viral with the right product, lead all that traffic to your website, you're gonna make money, right? But again, there's multiple different benefactors, multiple different things that compile to this machine of organic dropshipping, right? And again, most of the time, if you're not able to go viral consistently, you're not on top of trends. You're not able to flip that switch and find a new concept to target or another marketing angle, right? Because like I said, if you're one-dimensional, right? If you're a one-dimensional organic dropshipper, right? You think like, okay, I'm gonna run this product and only target period cramps. And then you have your elite, right, organic dropshipper that not only targets the period cramp, right, but also is gonna target anemics, but he's also gonna target book girls. He's gonna get creative with the marketing angles, right? Because, okay, maybe book girls don't work, but I can get into the office girlies that work from home, right? The stay-at-home moms, right? So you have to be creative, but the only way you can get creative is by surrounding yourself with information, and that is going to include you scrolling every day. Like the second you wake up, get on your phone and start looking at your burner, start looking at different trends that you can literally synthesize to your brain and be like, oh, can I run this with my product? And most of the time you can, bro. Most of the fucking time you can. All right, and lastly, split testing, right? Split testing is one of the main things that you need to know as an organic dropshipper, especially on Meta, right? Both Instagram and Facebook. If you don't know how to split test, you're not gonna be able to have that sort of longevity, right? So let's say you have a video that hit 300,000 views, right? Really good demand. it boosted like your whole entire account, but you want to be able to replicate that day in and day out, right? What you have to notice is that there are ways to manipulate that video and make different versions of that video, right? So let's say you were running the heated robe, right? Because again, that's all I've been talking about this fucking video. And you do like a POV text hook, right? You said POV, the perfect gift for your anemic mom, right? And that did it phenomenal, right? One thing that I like to personally do is just only change the text hook while still keeping the same concept. And so instead of just saying that, I would say POV, the perfect gift for your anemic mom this Mother's Day, right? Some shit like that. Just adding a little bit of a different twist to it, right? Nothing crazy. We're still keeping the same concept. We're still targeting moms, but we're switching it up a bit, right? And so I would switch the text hook. I would keep the same clips going. Obviously, I would re-record those clips, maybe in a different background so it's not so identical. And most of the time, it's going to go viral, right? But let's say we wanted to go deep. And so let's say instead of targeting moms, we could just target girlfriends, right? So you would keep that same POV, but instead of saying moms, just say girlfriends, right? And again, change up the clips a little bit, film them in different places, and bro, most of the time it will still go viral, right? But let's say the text hook just doesn't work, right? That method doesn't work. Then you would want to go into the audios that you use, right? Certain audios tend to make you go viral. So let's say you wanted to split test that audio. What you would do is start changing and testing different audios within that niche, or a viral audio, right? And most of the time, if you switch the audio while keeping everything else the same, it'll do the job, right? But again, it's a matter of just split testing one variable at a time until you find like your winning variables. And then that's how you are able to split test for months sometimes, right? Because like I said, I start with the text hook, then I move on to the audio, then I move on to the backgrounds, then I move on to the hand movements, then I move on to the duration of the video. There's so many different things you can split test. But like top of mind, like I said, like your best bet is going to be slightly switching the text hook while still keeping the same concept. Then you can kind of switch up the marketing angle a little bit as well while you're doing that. Then you can start testing different audios with the same concept, same everything. And then if that doesn't work, you move on to different backgrounds, different hand movements, right? And there's so many ways to do it. And it's a whole skill. But again, if you guys want to learn more about that, just go ahead and watch some of my old YouTube videos on split testing, because I do explain it very, very well in that video, because there's also different ways to split test on TikTok as well. That's just completely different than the meta, right? But yeah, it's a whole ass skill, bro. Next question is, what systems do you have in place to keep consistent months? Like I said, I delegate a lot. I don't even record for most of my products anymore, right? I delegated that whole entire process to people. I have 10 creators under me that are consistently making videos for me every single day, and I pay them anywhere from 15 to 30% commission. Some of them I do have on retainers, because the really, really good ones, I pay them monthly, bro, because they're just that fucking good. And so again, I've been able to scale my products, delegate that process to a team, right? To now I have a marketing team essentially with my creators and my affiliate marketers on TikTok Shop. Then I have my customer support team that takes care of my customers, my emails, etc. Then I have my email marketing team, right, that are taking care of the back end systems of how to make the most out of every single session that gets into the website, where I'm able to like retarget people that have added to cart, didn't make the checkout, or maybe they did purchase, but now I'm able to offer them another product later on in the future, right? These are all different teams that I have that essentially make me money consistently, right? There's a lot more that I have as well, but that's the only thing that I'm willing to share on this video. But yeah, like really it's just a matter of like finding the right product, being able to build a team that is going to set that standard, right, for the brand, right? Because I have a very high standard for the brand that I have, all my products, and I want to keep that standard, but you have to be able to hire A players, right? So even down to the creators that you do hire, right? You want to make sure that these guys have experience. Like I never, ever hire beginner creators, because A, I don't want to have to bring them up myself and teach them. Like I already want demons to hop on this brand that are going to make them money, so I don't have to fucking train them up, right? And obviously, yes, I do hop on calls with my affiliates, my creators, like twice a week to make sure that we're on the same page and if they need any help with anything. But again, like I much rather hire A players to be able to keep that consistency and really just that expectation that I have, right? So really the only people that I onboard to my team is students that I brought up myself, people within the space that I genuinely trust. and people that actually know what the fuck they're doing, right? Like I said, it doesn't make sense to delegate to somebody that isn't going to be able to keep that standard of content that you work so hard for, right? Like it doesn't make sense, bro. And I see a lot of people like delegating to like 50 creators that are all beginners. I'm like, bro, like your content's going to slack. Sure, you're scaling, you're able to pump out more videos, but the quality of those videos are going to be so much shittier that it just doesn't make sense, bro. So again, hire A players, build out systems, build out teams, and you'll be able to make money consistently with your products. Next is, I really want to start, but my problem is about ads because I'm shy. So if you're shy, bro, this isn't this isn't gonna be the business model for you. I'm gonna keep it completely honest. If you're worrying about being shy, good luck making it in business, bro. Because this is all about putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Really, the way that I've been able to get to the level I am today, where I'm fucking living here, is through pain and being literally uncomfortable every single day of my life. I do things that I don't want to do every single day, but I know I have to get them done. And you being shy, you're cooked, bro. I'm sorry, because I don't give a fuck about anyone's opinion, right? And that's gotten me to here, and I think it fucking works, right? If you actually focus on your mission, your vision, and don't give a fuck about what somebody else is telling you, you're gonna do great, right? And again, with organic, it requires you to put yourself out of your comfort zone, especially when you're recording in public or you're recording videos that, you know, are gonna maybe show your face. Like, bro, like, it's okay, right? And in the beginning, it might seem hard, but you're gonna build a tolerance for that, and eventually you just won't give a fuck, because once you start making money, bro, and you're at Target filming for a fucking product, and you got 3 other people looking at you weird, like, what the fuck is this grown-ass man doing? Bro, like, you start making money, like, who cares, bro? Who the fuck cares? Like, it's all worth it at the end, I promise you. Once you start seeing that dashboard, you see those cha-chings, it's all worth it, right? But if you're shy right now, and you haven't made any money, you haven't even started, good luck, my friend, but this is not a easy business at all, right? It's extremely hard, but it's simple and it works. All right, next question is from Tommy. He says, how do you get concepts and ideas for videos for a new product that is new? So Tommy, what I like to do is I like to find already proven concepts that are working for other products to use on my new product, right? And most of the time it'll work, right? Going back to the cooking concept, you could tie that concept into any product essentially, and you can pretty much be guaranteed views, right? But that's not the only concept that goes viral, right? There's so many other ones that have worked for other people in the past. And again, you have to kind of be creative and ask yourself, like, can I run this concept with my product? And most of the time you can, right? You might just have to tweak a couple of things when it comes to the wording, right? So instead of like, you know, targeting book lovers, you target your niche. But most of the time you're able to do it, right? Like that's how you essentially Frankenstein a video, right? You find something that's working from another product and you essentially do it with yours, but it's just a matter of doing those slight little tweaks, right? And again, ideas come from you consistently scrolling on your burner and finding those winning concepts from either organic concepts, right? Or just concepts that are going viral for just normal like influencers or any trends, etc. But you have to be on top of it, right? So that's why every time I wake up in the morning, I get to work, I'm on my phone, taking a look at like, all right, what's currently going viral within organic, what's currently going viral within like just normal TikTok, Instagram, and trying to extract as many ideas to then use for my product, right? Yes, it's going to take a lot of creativity, but it's really about surrounding yourself with all this information and just sitting there and thinking, right? And coming up with a whole entire document of different ideas that you could possibly do. And most of the time, you're gonna get some pretty good ideas, right? But yeah, if you were to ask me where do I get my concepts, I get my concepts from old, like 2024 products, other products in different niches that are going super viral, right? I steal that concept, make it my own. I also like to look into viral trends that are going on within like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and try to Frankenstein it to make it for my product, right? Or sometimes I'll even go on my burner, right? And I'll make a brand new burner for the niche that I'm targeting, and I'll literally see what's currently going viral within the niche, so I can really make super niche down concepts for my target audience, right? Because the more you can relate with your niche, the more money you're gonna make, right? Your conversions are gonna go through the fucking roof if you're able to actually relate to your audience, right? So yeah, that's how I go about concepts and ideas for my videos. It's really just a matter of like sitting your ass down for 2 hours a day, right? And actually blocking that time off to find ideas, copy all of them into a document to where you have like 50 different concepts and videos from, you know, your findings, and you just get to work, bro. That's all you fucking do, right? But I mean, yeah, bro, that's gonna be all the questions that I have for today. This was literally a 49-minute video, me just yapping here in my apartment. And I mean, yeah, bro, like this is gonna pretty much conclude the video. Like I said, bro, organic has gotten me here today, but it's because I've been able to sit my ass down on this chair and work 10 to 12 hours a day every single day to be able to reap the fruits of my labor here today, right? And hopefully I was able to answer a lot of questions for the people, because obviously you guys comment a lot of these questions on my videos, and sometimes I can't get to them. So hopefully in this video, right, I was able to answer a lot of those unknown questions, right, from somebody that actually does the business model actively today, and has one of the biggest consulting companies when it comes to organic dropshipping, right? And not only have I been winning, but all the students under me, right? We have been absolutely crushing it because I actually know what I'm talking about, right? And yeah, that's gonna pretty much be the video. If you liked it, drop a like, subscribe. Also, if you guys do want to get mentored by me personally and join the inner circle, you guys can go ahead and apply in the description below. And with that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Give me some feedback if you liked it, if you hated it, and I'll catch you in the next one.